"Sir, my mum is crying in the bathroom." The words exploded into the boardroom like a gunshot. 8-year-old Josh burst through the door, chest heaving, tears streaming down his face. 2 security guards rushed in behind him, apologizing profusely, reaching for the boy. But Marcus Reid, CEO of TechVision Industries, held up one hand. Everyone froze. 15 board members stared in shocked silence. Marcus looked at the child, really looked at him, and saw something that made his chest tighten. Pure panic. The kind of panic that comes when your whole world is falling apart and you don't know how to fix it. "Josh," Marcus said, his voice suddenly gentle, "show me where your mum is. Before we continue, comment below where you're watching from. Now, let's see what happens next." Sarah Chen had been working at TechVision for exactly 3 weeks. 21 days of trying to rebuild a life that had shattered 1 year ago when her husband David, a firefighter, died saving a family from a burning building. He was a hero to everyone else. To Sarah and Josh, he was just dad, and he was gone. She took the junior accountant position because she needed stability, needed to provide for her son, needed to prove she could still function even though grief sat on her chest every single morning. Today, during her lunch break, she received an envelope slipped under her apartment door that morning. Eviction notice, 30 days. The landlord was selling the building, and all tenants had to vacate. Sarah had been searching for apartments every night after Josh went to sleep, but everything required 3 months' rent up front. She didn't have it. She was still drowning in medical bills from David's final days, still paying off funeral costs. She'd been saving every penny, but it wasn't enough. Not yet. Not in 30 days. And Josh's 9th birthday was in 2 weeks. The weight of it all crashed down on her in the women's bathroom on the 14th floor. She thought she was alone. She let herself break, just for a moment, mascara running, shoulders shaking, the crumpled eviction notice gripped in her trembling hands. Josh had come to surprise her. He'd drawn a picture in art class, a family portrait, Mom and him holding hands under a rainbow. He told the security guard at the front desk it was his mom's birthday. A small lie that got him through. The guard, charmed by the kid's excitement, let him up. Josh knew his mom worked on the 14th floor. He wandered the halls looking for her, asking strangers if they knew Sarah Chen. Then he heard it. Crying. Soft, broken crying coming from behind the bathroom door. He recognized that sound. He'd heard it once before, the night after his dad's funeral when his mom thought he was asleep. Josh's heart started racing. He knocked. "Mom?" No answer. Just the sound of her trying to muffle her sobs. "Mom, please." "I'm scared." Panic took over. His mom was hurting and he didn't know how to help. He did the only thing an 8-year-old could think of. He ran. He burst into the nearest important-looking office, the one with glass walls and important people in suits, and screamed for help. Marcus Reid was mid-sentence in a quarterly review when Josh appeared, but Marcus didn't see an interruption. He saw himself at 10 years old, standing in a hospital hallway, watching his father cry after the doctor said there was nothing more they could do for his mother. Marcus had built an empire from nothing. He'd gone from sleeping in his father's car to running a billion-dollar company. But that memory, that image of his father breaking down, working 3 jobs and still not having enough, it never left him. Marcus stood immediately. "The meeting can wait," he said firmly. Confused whispers rippled through the board members. Marcus Reid never postponed meetings, but he was already walking toward Josh, his expression focused. "Show me, son. Show me where she is." They moved through the office, Marcus, in his expensive suit, following a terrified child in a superhero t-shirt. Employees stopped typing, conversations halted, everyone watched. "Who is that kid? Is that Marcus Reid?" They reached the bathroom. Josh pointed, his small hand shaking. "In there," he whispered. Marcus knocked gently. "Sarah? Sarah Chen?" There was a sharp intake of breath, then silence. The door opened slowly. Sarah stood there, face blotchy, mascara streaked, eyes red and swollen. when she saw Marcus Reid, her boss, the CEO of the entire company, standing there with her son, the mortification was instant and crushing. "Mr. Reid," she stammered, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry. I'll resign. This is completely unprofessional. I'll clear out my desk." Marcus shook his head. "You'll do no such thing." His voice was firm but kind. "Josh, buddy," he said, kneeling down to the boy's level. "You did the right thing. Now let's talk to your mom, okay?" He stood and looked at Sarah. "Not here. Come with me. If this story is touching your heart, subscribe to Love is Kindness for more stories that restore faith in humanity. Now let's see what Marcus does next." Marcus led them past the boardroom, past curious stairs, to his private office at the end of the hall. It wasn't the cold, imposing space Sarah expected. There were photos on the desk, books on shelves, a worn leather couch that looked actually sat in. He gestured for them to sit, then closed the door gently behind them. The outside world disappeared. Sarah couldn't stop apologizing. "Mr. Reid, I'm so sorry. This is completely inappropriate. I've only been here 3 weeks, and I'm already causing problems. I'll resign effective immediately. You don't need an employee who falls apart at work." Marcus sat across from her, leaning forward, his expression serious but not angry. "Sarah, stop. You're not resigning. You're not causing problems. And you're going to tell me what's going on." She hesitated, pride and shame battling inside her. Josh sat beside her, holding her hand, his drawing crumpled in his other fist. Finally, the words came tumbling out. "I got an eviction notice this morning. The landlord's selling the building. I have 30 days to find a new place." She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "I've been applying to apartments every night after Josh goes to bed, but everything requires 3 months' rent up front as a deposit. I don't have it." Her voice cracked. "My husband, David, he was a firefighter. He died a year ago saving a family from a fire. The life insurance barely covered the funeral and his medical bills. I've been saving every penny from this job, but it's not enough. Not yet. Not in 30 days. She looked at Josh, her heart breaking all over again. "And his birthday is in 2 weeks. I was supposed to have everything figured out by now. I was supposed to be strong enough." Marcus sat very still. He looked at Josh, really looked at him, and something shifted in his chest. The boy was 8, maybe 9. The same age Marcus had been when his world fell apart. He saw himself in those scared eyes, and when he looked back at Sarah, exhausted, proud, trying so hard to hold everything together, he saw his father, working 3 jobs, coming home late, crying in the car when he thought his son wasn't watching. Marcus took a breath and made a decision. "Sarah, I need to tell you something. When I was 10 years old, my mother got sick. Cancer. My father worked 3 jobs trying to pay for treatment, but it wasn't enough. She died 6 months later. After that, my dad couldn't afford our apartment anymore. We lived in his car for 4 months. Sarah's eyes widened. Marcus continued, his voice steady but weighted with old pain. I was Josh's age. I remember my dad crying in parking lots, trying to hide it from me. I remember pretending I was asleep so he wouldn't feel worse. I remember being terrified we'd never have a home again. He looked directly at Sarah. I built this company from nothing because I swore I'd never feel that helpless again. And I swore that if I ever had the power to help someone else avoid that pain, I would. Sarah. We have corporate housing, fully furnished apartments for executives who relocate here. Right now we have an empty unit. It's just sitting there. He leaned forward. Move in. No rent for 6 months. Get back on your feet. Save your money. Find a permanent place when you're ready. Sarah's breath caught. Mr. Reid, I can't. That's too much. I can't accept charity. Her voice was firm despite the tears. I've worked too hard to take handouts. Marcus shook his head. This isn't charity, Sarah. This is someone who understands making sure another kid doesn't have to sleep in a car. He glanced at Josh, who was watching them both with wide, hopeful eyes. I'm not offering this because I pity you. I'm offering this because you remind me that success means nothing if I can't use it to stop someone else's child from feeling what I felt." Sarah opened her mouth to protest again, but Josh squeezed her hand. "Mommy, please," he whispered. "I don't want to leave my school. I don't want to leave my friends." The weight of her son's plea, combined with Marcus's steady, understanding gaze, finally broke through her pride. She closed her eyes, tears streaming freely now, and nodded. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay. Thank you." Marcus smiled, a genuine warm smile that transformed his entire face. "You're welcome. And Sarah, you're a good mother. David would be proud of how hard you're fighting." That did it. Sarah broke down completely, but this time it wasn't from despair. It was from relief, from gratitude, from the overwhelming realization that she wasn't alone anymore. Marcus turned his attention to Josh, who was still clutching his mother's hand. "And Josh, buddy," he said gently, "your mom mentioned your birthday is coming up?" Josh nodded, wiping his eyes. "I'm gonna be 9. Marcus smiled. "Well, we can't let that pass without a celebration. How about we throw you a party right here in the office?" Josh's eyes went wide. "Really? Really?" Marcus confirmed. "We'll get cake, decorations, the whole thing. What do you say?" Josh looked up at his mother, hope written all over his face. Sarah laughed through her tears, a real laugh for the first time in what felt like forever. "I think that sounds perfect." Word spread through Tech Vision like wildfire. "The CEO's helping one of our own. Did you hear what he did?" Within hours, employees were volunteering to help plan Josh's party, donating decorations, organizing games. It wasn't pity. It was genuine excitement. Sarah had been quiet and kind in her 3 weeks there, and now everyone wanted to show up for her. 3 months passed. Sarah moved into the corporate apartment the following week, a beautiful 2-bedroom with windows that let in actual sunlight. For the first time in a year, she slept through the night. She threw herself into her work, not because she had to prove anything, but because she finally had the mental space to excel. Her attention to detail, her innovative solutions to complex accounting problems, they didn't go unnoticed. Marcus promoted her to senior accountant based purely on merit. When he called her into his office to tell her, Sarah cried again, but this time from pride. She'd saved enough for a security deposit on a permanent apartment. She was standing on her own feet again. But something unexpected had happened too. Marcus had started spending Saturday mornings teaching Josh basic coding. It began casually, Josh curious about what Marcus did, Marcus realizing he missed mentoring. Now it was a routine. Josh would show up with his notebook, Marcus would order pizza, and they'd work on simple programs together. Josh called him Mr. Marcus. Marcus called him Buddy. Neither of them said it out loud, but they both felt it. This was family. The entire office culture had shifted. Marcus, inspired by Sarah's situation, implemented a family support program. Employees facing hardship, housing crises, medical emergencies, they now had a safety net. 3 other families had already been helped. Tech Vision wasn't just a company anymore. It was a community. Today was Josh's 9th birthday, and the office was transformed. Streamers hung from cubicles. A massive superhero cake sat on the conference table, and 40 employees gathered to sing happy birthday to a little boy who'd burst into their lives 3 months ago and somehow made everything better. Josh wore a party hat and laughed as his new friends from the office cheered. Sarah stood to the side, watching, her heart so full it ached. Marcus appeared beside her. "You doing okay?" he asked quietly. She turned to him, her eyes shining. "You saved us," she said, her voice shaking. "You saved us when I didn't even know how to ask for help." Marcus shook his head firmly. "No, Sarah. You reminded me why I built this company in the first place. Not for profit margins or quarterly reports. For moments like this. For making sure kids like Josh don't have to be scared. For making sure parents like you don't have to cry alone in bathrooms. You gave me back my purpose." Before Sarah could respond, Josh came running over, cake frosting smeared on his face. He threw his arms around Marcus's leg in a fierce hug. "Thanks for helping my mom stop crying, Mr. Marcus. Thanks for being our friend." Marcus felt his throat tighten. He knelt down to Josh's level, putting a hand on the boy's shoulder. "That's what family does, buddy. We show up for each other. And you and your mom? You're family now." Josh grinned and ran back to his friends. Sarah squeezed Marcus's hand once, no words needed, then followed her son. Marcus stood and watched them, Sarah laughing as Josh tried to get her to play a game, the office buzzing with genuine joy. He walked to the window and looked out over the city. Somewhere out there, his father was retired now, living comfortably thanks to Marcus's success. But Marcus thought about the man his father used to be, exhausted, crying in parking lots, doing everything he could with nothing to give, and he thought about his mother, who'd fought so hard to stay just a little longer. That night, Marcus made another decision. He established the Elena Reid Foundation, named after his mother, dedicated to helping single parents facing housing crises. Sarah became its first board member. Within a year, they'd helped 200 families. Within 2 years, 1,000. Sometimes the most powerful thing a successful person can do is remember where they came from. Marcus Reid never forgot. And because of that, hundreds of children never had to sleep in cars, hundreds of parents never had to cry alone. All because one little boy was brave enough to ask for help, and one man was humble enough to give it. What did you think of this story? Rate it from 0 to 10 inches the comments below. And if this touched your heart, subscribe to Love is Kindness for more stories that remind us what really matters. Thank you for watching, and remember, we all have the power to change someone's life. We just have to choose to use it.